Hey guys, it's Adam here from F150LEDs.com. Today we're going to be showing you how to install our MKII Ambient Lighting Kit on your 24 Ranger. Let's go ahead and jump into the install right now. We went ahead and laid out our kit, and we want to talk through which strip is going to go where. So the first strip we're going to talk about is the longest strip in the kit. And the longest strip in the kit is going to go across the back of the truck up to the front of the passenger side, and it'll mount under the dash of the passenger side. So the next two longest wires that we have, once again, are going to run across the back of the truck. They will go under the passenger seat, and one will go to the front of the passenger seat, and one will go to the rear of the passenger seat. This next longest wire that we have is going to run underneath the, it's going to run between the seat and the center console area up to below the driver dashboard, and it'll adhere underneath this driver dash right there. And then the next two shortest wires that we have, these last two wires, they're going to go under the driver's seat. So one of these will go to the front of the driver's seat, and one of these will go to the rear of the driver's seat. So now that we have all that laid out, we've kind of explained where everything's going to go, we're going to jump into running these wires where they need to go. We're going to take this control box here and leave it under the driver dash, and then we're going to take our wire and run it in between this door frame here and the seat, and because we want this bundle to be in the back seat. So we're going to go ahead and run all these wires back there, like so. Just get them tossed in there for now. Found this to be the easiest way to have all of your wiring in your back seat, and then you can run each wire where it needs to go from there. All right, now that we have all the wiring in the back of the truck, we're going to take our longest wire, as we mentioned earlier, and we're going to run it in between the center console and the seat. So for now, we're just gonna put it in between there and toss it up there until we're ready to stick it on. Next, we are going to take the next two longest wires in the bunch, and we're going to run them over here. One will run under this seat. Like I said, it'll connect to the front of the passenger seat, excuse me. And this one will connect right here. We'll show that all here in a minute. And then after that, your next longest wire will run in between this center console and this driver's seat to the front driver dash, like so. And then the next longest wire we're going to leave right here, because we're going to run it up into this center console, so that'll light up the center console really well. And the last two wires, the shortest wires in the bundle, one is going to mount right here, and the other one we're going to run to the front seat, and we're going to mount it to the front of the driver's seat. So now that we got them where they need to be, we're ready to start mounting. Okay, now that we have our longest wire run to under the passenger dash here, there's a flat surface under here that we're going to take our included wipe and go ahead and wipe that down. Get off any dust or dirt. It's going to keep it from adhering well. You're going to want to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to go ahead and peel back the protective 3M covering here. Now this kit is pretty sticky, however, we do include silicone in this kit. So if you wanted to, you could take a bead of silicone across here before sticking it. You could stick it and then also take a little bit of silicone on your finger and rub it on the outside of it. But for now, we're just going to stick it to this flat piece. So we're going to go ahead and just push this down, hold it with some firm pressure for about 30 to 60 seconds. Make sure it adheres really well. And once we've done that, we're going to take the wiring here and we're going to tuck it back behind this trim piece right here that goes along your center console. So we're going to go up above the trim piece and then start tucking that wiring underneath the trim piece, that way it's not seen. I'm just gonna hide it really well by tucking it up under there. And now we're ready to mount our LED strip under the front of the passenger seat. All right, now we're going to take the LED strip that we ran underneath the passenger seat and remove this 3M covering. And there is a silver metal bar underneath this seat that we're going to be attaching this to. Now it's going to be very hard to see on camera, so we're just going to throw some pictures on the screen for you. You're going to want to run this onto this metal here. And one thing to note, this kit does come with zip ties. So this would be a good place where we highly recommend including and using those zip ties. There's some copper colored ovals on these LED strips, and that's where we recommend running your zip tie around. That way you're not pressing down on any of the lights. So now that we have it stuck there, we're going to take our zip ties and go in and zip tie it to this metal bar. That way it's not going anywhere. All right, now we have our LED strip that's at the back of the passenger seat. We're going to go ahead and remove this 3M covering. And we are going to be placing it onto carpet, which won't stick very well. However, there are 4 elastic bands that are holding this down that we're going to slide this LED strip under those bands, and it'll hold the strip into place. Once again, we know it's a very cramped area. It's very hard to get this stuff on video, so we're going to show as many pictures as we can to help you guys out with your installs. Like I said, I'm just running it under these elastic bands here. There's 4 of them. And when you make sure when you do it that the LED strip doesn't slide underneath this carpeted piece right here, but it's out and exposed so that it'll shine down and light up this area. So now that we've done that, we're going to move to the driver's side and repeat these steps for the back of the driver's seat and the front of the driver's seat as well. So we're going to do that real quick. We're just going to, for the sake of time of video, go ahead and jump through that, install those, and then we'll jump to the front of the truck to show you how to mount the strip underneath the dashboard. All right, now we're going to repeat the exact same process that we did on the passenger footwell under the dash for the driver's side under this dash. We're going to go ahead and wipe down our mounting surface here. It's a good nice flat part under this dash that we're going to be using. And then now we're going to take the strip that we ran to this part of the truck and remove the 3M covering like so. And once again, I want to note that if you want to use the included silicone to line a bead across here before you stick it on, you can. And then you can also go back behind with some silicone on your fingers and rub across the top and the sides of this to really adhere it very well. But we're just going to mount it to this flat surface here. We're going to hold it for about 30 to 60 seconds. Make sure it adheres really well. And then once that is done, we're going to take this wire coming from the LED strip here and run it up and under this trim piece like so, and then hide that wire underneath the trim piece so that it won't be seen. Right, so now we're going to take our last strip here and we're going to run it up through here along this crack here in this trim piece into the center console. We're going to take our pry tool here, just go ahead and start running it under first and then pry it open and just kind of slide that wire in as you go. Like so. Alright, now we're going to open this up. Run it over from that trim piece into the center console. Now once you have it in the center console, this strip is a little long for some applications in the center console, but to fix that problem, you can take a pair of scissors and along any one of these copper kind of ovals here, you can cut the strip to fit where you want it to be. So for this application, we're going to cut the strip just about in half, right along this copper area. And then once again, we're going to remove the 3M covering. And then we're going to place this into our center console and just hold firmly for about 30 seconds. After we've done that, we're ready to move on to connect this kit to power. Okay, so to connect to power, our fuse panel and ground bolt are located under this dash trim piece here. So we're going to take our trim tool and just go ahead and start popping out like so. You're going to do this side as well. And that will expose our ground bolt that we're going to be using right here. And then we're going to be using fuse slot number 33, which is a 5-amp fuse for this. So first thing we're going to do is back out this ground bolt. It's a size 8mm ground bolt. We're going to take the ground terminal ring, slide it through our bolt, and then reinstall this bolt right where we got it from. Now, like I said, we are going to be using fuse slot number 33, which is right here, this 5-amp fuse. So we're going to pull this 5-amp fuse out. We're going to take our fuse tap here and put the 5-amp fuse that we just pulled out into this lower slot here. Just make sure you push that in really well. And then now we're going to take this fuse tap and reinsert it into slot number 33. Like so. And now once we've done that, we're going to take this male connector here and run it down the left corner, of this trim piece. And then we're just going to tuck these wires up in here and then reinstall our trim piece. So now that this is hanging down right here, we're going to be connecting this to the power box here. So we're going to insert that in the top. To mount this box, you're going to get 2 pieces of 3M tape. So we're going to remove the covering, place it here, do the same thing with the other piece. Like so. And then remove the other side covering so that we can stick it to the truck. And you're gonna want to push as much of this wire back up into that area as possible. Then we're gonna firmly press on it here. The reason we're putting it here is this kit comes with a feature that it'll change the light color with the music that's playing. So this is very close to the speaker, so it'll pick up on that really well. So we're gonna press that in. Now we're gonna turn our truck on, the auxiliary power on. And you can see that our kit's lighting up. Now when you go to change the colors and different functions on your kit, make sure you remove this plastic piece here. That way the remote will work. And then if you point it at this receiver right here, it'll change the different colors like so. So all there's left to do is take this excess wire, we're going to tuck it under these trim pieces, tuck it under some floor mats, and then we'll be good to go. So that's all there is to installing our MKII Ambient Lighting Kit on this 24 Ranger. You can check this kit out along with all of our other amazing custom LED products for your Ford truck at f150leds.com. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at F150LEDs. We truly appreciate your support and we look forward to seeing you there soon. Thanks guys.